brilliant. So if I need you to come forward, we'll see how quiet you are, but you might be okay. So we'll find out on here. So I'll start recording now. Brilliant. Okay, so it's a nice chat. There's a few questions in there which I think Adam's told you about, so we'll go from there. If I come this way, I think that'll be easier for you to see me this way. Yes, perfect. Okay, so thank you very much for coming in. Let's just reflect on the fact that Islamic Relief is, well, it's a pretty big birthday this year, isn't it?
That's right, the 40th anniversary, the year of maturity.
The 40, it's 40, the year of
40th.
Maturity.
Yes, right.
What happened to me? Because I'm 43 now and I don't think
we
I've got there yet.
We are mature and we should be guided by yourself.
Yeah, that's quite a poignant thing, but it is true, isn't it? You get to that point and
That's
you
right.
should have reached some form of understanding.
That's right, yeah.
So 40 years, take us back to why and how you started Islamic Relief.
It started spontaneously after the famine in 1983 in Ethiopia, in Tigray and Eritrea, where we as Muslims found that all the charities are raising a lot of fund. Actually, it was very, 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 very bad famine. And we found that we didn't have any role to play. And said we need to do something.
So this is things like Live Aid and all
Live
of that was
at the
going
time
on.
of Sir Bob Geldof and Live Aid and Band Aid. And when I went to Sudan in December 1983, I found I was exposed to the enormity of the disaster affecting Ethiopia, which claimed lives of hundreds of thousands of people and displacement of over 2 million people. At that time, we said that we as Muslim community in Birmingham have to do something. Actually, I came back with an idea, take some photograph. My first donation came to us. Our first donation came from Egypt, from a young boy at the age of 9, 20 pence, chocolate money. And this was to start with.
Wow.
And this is actually how we started with
That
the
was your
20 pence.
very first donation.
First
Swiss
donation.
money, basically.
That's
chocolate
right.
money, 20p from a 9-year-old in Egypt.
That's right. Then I came back here. I was talking to one of my colleagues doing his PhD in chemistry in Birmingham University. Both of us were doing our high qualification there.
So you were a student in Birmingham?
I was a medical student here, and I was working as well as studying. I was working at the time at 1983, where I was working in Dudley Road Hospital. Dudley Road Hospital. And so at that time, and I just moved to Queen Elizabeth Hospital to start to do my Doctor of Medicine. And Dr. Ihsan and myself started from nowhere. No office, no budget, no trustees, nothing. We just opened a bank account at NatWest. Even we called it a very, very long and boring name, actually. And we just used the address to open the bank account. And it was just like that. We used to go from street to street, door to door, shop to shop, mosque, even a lot of churches donated money to us
just
at
collecting.
that time. That's right. But to be very honest, for the credit of calling us Islamic Relief, it was Cathy Stephen, who came to us in 1985 and tell us and give us the name, actually, of Islamic Relief.
Yeah, but you needed something catchier, right?
That's right. It was his idea, to be very honest. Because before that, we give it a very long, boring name. I don't know how the bank accepted opening the bank account with that. And we started with nowhere, nothing, with no resources. And this is a message for the young people. Don't wait for the resources. Don't wait for big people to be with you. Don't wait for the queen or the president or whatever it is. They will come to you later on.
If you do, they'll follow.
That's it. That's why the prince now is king, was supportive, very supportive to us.
So there's a long journey in between these points, but how much has Islamic Relief raised in those 40 years? Approximately.
I can't tell you, but I tell you that actually the income of last year's coming to IRW, which is the headquarters, is about nearly 280 million. This is not all the income which has been raised globally, because some of the income has been spent in the local areas like UK, like actually USA, like Canada. So if it's 280 million coming to the headquarters, it's maybe doubled or
And
tripled.
that's just for last year.
Yeah, that's for last year.
Which is
We started from 20 pence.
Yeah, and that is what you can do. I mean, you are one of the biggest charities in the world, and you've based right here in Birmingham. You started here in Birmingham. Why was it? What has captured people a little bit more in terms of it being a charity that started by Muslims and for not only Muslims but to help people from Muslim backgrounds?
From the very beginning, the people affected by the famine in East Africa and Ethiopia were mixed, Muslims and non-Muslims. We never made any discrimination from the very beginning. That's why this mentality came to us from the beginning. That's we responded to many calamities different here and there. That's why some of the churches actually and non-Muslim organizations give us money from the very beginning. Even it might be seed money, but this inspired the fact that our name is called Islamic Relief. So to be very honest, actually our response was not just to the Muslims, but was actually to Muslims and non-Muslims. That's why we responded to the Goma volcano in Congo, as well as to the flood or the cyclone in Guatemala.
You already are everywhere.
That's with the Jesuit brothers. You know the Jesuit brothers, like the Jesuit.
You partner up.
Yes, we even doing some money to them. We are very good partner to CAFOD from the very beginning. Actually, Catholic Aid for Overseas Development and others, Christian Aid and others. All this kind of partnership we started with because we are living in a cosmopolitan, multiracial, multi-faith society, especially in Birmingham. In Birmingham, you can find everybody and anybody.
So it's the perfect place for
That's
Islamic
right.
Relief
Definitely,
to
yeah.
have been started and to be based still. And it very much is a part of Birmingham, isn't it?
That's right. You see, Birmingham is the second. London is too big to be known. You'll be You'll be lost in London, like Lost in New York. You know the movie Lost in New York?
Yeah.
Was Home Alone 1. And but in Birmingham, it's a city we can accommodate families, we can accommodate, and we proved to the international community that from Birmingham we can create international organizations.
It's the world.
The world, as Claire Shirt was telling me, the world is here in Birmingham, not anywhere else.
And that's what we love about it. It's fascinating to hear it, and I think maybe some people don't realise quite how influential Islamic Relief has been, although, it's every major incident, disaster, anything, even through COVID, all of that.
Yeah.
Islamic Relief has been helping people all over the world. I can't imagine what it's like how do you sort of day to day judge how you've helped people, because you must get inundated with messages of thanks, with all of that. How do you even process the amount of people that organisation, and I know it's not just you, it's a huge team, but how does that even work in your brain?
We focus on the people that we need to reach. Actually, that's why our supporters are in millions nowadays. In the good old days, there was no supporters. Even we used to stand in front of the mosque, and the mosque keepers used to push us away. Get away, get away. Even I used to carry with myself a small plastic bag to put the donation in it. They used to take it from me. You shouldn't collect money from the mosque. You shouldn't, because they didn't choose to find somebody bigger while we're standing in front of the mosque. Actually, all these good messages coming nowadays through the social media, very well taken care of, actually by big, very highly qualified young people. Actually, I'm not very good at social media like many of the people, but nowadays it becomes very, very, very easy to capture this kind of the messages coming from north and south and east and west. And that's why I'm saying Birmingham is the center of UK and the center of the universe. Universe.
How much is it a part of your Muslim faith? This is a huge part of being a Muslim, to help others, isn't it? And I know, like, we talk about Ramadan and what that, and coming to the end of Ramadan and the Hajj, and I've talked a lot of living here and being in Birmingham about that. But being able to help others is a massive part of all faiths, but as the Muslim faith.
It is a cornerstone of our faith, is to help everybody in need and anybody in need. Even in one of the verses in the Quran, Allah said, feed out of love the needy, the orphan, and the captives, the prisoners of war. You can imagine the word out of love. Even the prisoner of war who was fighting you yesterday, trying to kill you yesterday, when you go to feed him as a captive, you have to show respect and love and care. That's why the Archbishop of Canterbury at that time, I think when in Ireland, Beasley? No, I can't remember now. He told me, "Are you sure, honey, it's out of love?" I said, "Yes." I was doubting it. Then I asked somebody from Birmingham because we were in Ireland. Said, "Yes, out of love." So out of love was the message of prophecies.
Which, of course, some people, maybe that's got lost in translation somewhere in terms of the Muslim faith.
Unfortunately.
It's got a bit of a bad rap.
No, yeah.
For various different reasons. It's a very complex issue that we can't really get into, but this is the complete antithesis of that, of the idea of things being done out of hatred or done out of pain.
No, even as Jesus, peace be upon him, said, look after your neighbor. No matter, he never, peace be upon him, Jesus, said, who's your neighbor? Black, white, short, tall, whatever it is. Exactly the same mentioned by Muhammad 300 years afterwards. Look after your neighbor, without mentioning who is the neighbor.
And that's what you've done with Islamic Relief. We've got to get on to the questions. 5 questions on Boston list for you today.
You are going to roast me now.
Dr. Hani Albana, I'm really excited to see what you answer these for us. Question 1, what part of the West Midlands do you call home?
All West Midland, but centrally Birmingham.
It is Birmingham.
Because Birmingham is a cosmopolitan, multiracial, multi-faith, and very, very safe and beautiful for the family. People might say, why are you not in London? I said, London is too big. Actually, here you have good education, you have good friendship. You can go from Birmingham corner to corner in half an hour by the car. But if you are London, of course, the city of economy, city of politics, but it's not good for the family. That's why Allah chosen us to be here in Birmingham.
Quality of life.
That's right.
Well. Question number 2, you've got a day off, completely free day. I bet you don't have many of those. I imagine you're quite busy normally.
I just came back from South Africa.
You're just back from South Africa. I know you travel a lot still, of course, with the organisation. But you've got a free day at home in Birmingham. Where are you going and what are you doing?
Astonishing enough, yesterday I was at the Botanical Garden with my children and my 2 daughters and my son and my wife and my grandson. We enjoyed the day because this is home sweet home. Well, actually, we are not far from Botanical Garden. This is actually a landmark for Birmingham, not a landmark from the West Midland and from UK as well.
Yeah, and it's beautiful place.
Very beautiful.
Well. Is there anywhere you're going out to eat particularly?
Oh, in Birmingham, all the different kind of food you can eat. It, the Asian food, the English food.
Do you eat out a lot?
Yeah, when the children want to go out, sometimes because my wife is very good, and although she fights of eating outside, said I am going to cook for you at home.
She'd rather cook.
Oh yes, of course, and she's because she's a housewife.
Yeah.
And she's very, very, very good cook. And if you want to eat some nice food, come home.
Come into yours.
Yeah.
That's what we should
Better
be
actually
doing.
than all this kind of thing. But actually, the children sometimes want to go out, so there's a varieties of streets you can go there, and actually like in Ladypool, and actually in Stratford Road, everywhere.
Yeah. Any favourites? You don't want to name check anywhere, do you?
No.
Yeah, because too real.
No.
Oh, there'd be a rush on it if you did.
No.
But lots of. You're right. There's lots of different great places.
Right.
Question number 3 then. I'm interested to see what you'll say for this. I don't know whether you're a big music fan or not, but we ask for question number 3. You can pick one West Midlands artist or type of music and song. What would you pick and why?
I will choose you. Trust you to choose it for me.
Okay.
Because actually at that time I was it was the music of neighbors of actually many of them, and because I was extremely very busy looking after going from, you see, we used to go working door to door. We used to walk it in the middle of the sun, in the middle of the rain, and sometimes the music will be at the background. But I will love your
You
choice.
really weren't, like, you were too busy, really.
Yeah, but I would love to listen to a music that you love.
Okay. Oh, that's oh great, free reign. Right, we'll see what we come up with there. Question number 4: what thing about the West Midlands annoys you the most?
Annoys?
Yeah.
I don't think West Midland annoys me.
Do you think there's anything? Is there anything that?
I think the only thing annoys me that the government is not privileging the West Midland. We should do more investment here, because we have the black country, we have a lot of resources here. We need to expose the West Midland to the outside world. And people, sometimes the government very interested in London. London. So what? Actually, so what's after London? You have got Manchester Borough, you have got West Midland, which is and West Midland is highly talented individual in West Midland, whether it's in Birmingham or Wolverhampton. When you go to the black country, you find a great talent in music and art and poetry and all these kind of things.
Absolutely.
When you go between the avenues, you navigate there, you see, you love to see the history of the culture in this area, which is the small houses, the old factories, the old workshops in this area, which is beautiful. The West Midland is incredibly rich in culture and in history and in philosophy of thinking as well.
Wow, I think that is so true. It's beautifully put, and it kind of leads on to the last question, which is, you out of every guest we've had on Boston List are probably the most well travelled. So we talk to a lot of people who travel the world, but you, I would imagine, Dr. Albano, are probably the most. The countries that you will have been to over the last 40 years, it is absolutely immense. How are you describing or talking about the West Midlands when you go to somewhere like Congo or Haiti or somewhere where it's like another universe, right? And obviously that's partly about the UK, but the West Midlands, you're somewhere in London and then I've never been to Birmingham, what are you telling people about this part of the world?
I think West Midland for me is where I belong to, because it made me a traveler. I have to be indebted to West Midland, because I was like a small seed being planted in a very fertile land called West Midland. Allowed me, respected me, nurtured me to become a tree, not me, Islamic Relief, and allowed me to travel the whole world. I nearly visited more than 90 countries.
Incredible.
And at that time, you don't know how many times each one of them has been visited. If you talk about Bosnia, maybe 30, 40 times. If you talk about Pakistan, if you talk about all these countries, visited many, many, many times. I don't know how many journeys. I just told you I just came back from South Africa 2 days ago after 2 weeks of very tiring journey with 25 young people coming from Canada. I was the mentor there from the time of Fajr, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, to after midnight for about 2 weeks. So I'm drained and exhausted. But seeing you give me the energy again, because you are West Midland.
Oh, you can't say fairer than that. I'm honoured. It's been amazing to meet you. Thank you so much for doing that. What a brilliant interview. Absolutely loved that. Well done. Perfect.
Thank you.
It's so interesting. Wow, what a life. But also, it's still got, you need it more than ever, don't we? We need connection more than ever. It's not about the money. It is about the money, but it's because you need the money to do the connection, but it's the connection.
If you connect, you get. Yeah. If you don't connect, you don't get.
Yeah, it's literally that.
Thank you.
No, thank you.